Hello everyone, my name is Michael and I'm speaking to you from the verse. Now if you're not sure what the verse is, I encourage you to go to my website at rewritingtheverse.com, and that's where you can find out all about the verse. I encourage you to go to the updates, both written and all the YouTube videos are on there, so feel free to go back, and there's many different ones connected to past lives. I am a past life regressionist and rewriter, which means that I have the privilege of utilizing these skills to help us work powerfully and move powerfully through important portals, especially ascension portals. This video is specifically connected to this upcoming 6/20/2020 summer solstice, okay, which is only a few days away. And so what I do is I will ask my guides to show me a twin flame, divine masculine, divine feminine timeline that can help us, by healing it, that can help us raise our vibration so that we can even more powerfully move through whatever upcoming portal it's connected to. And this one took us to Egypt, approximately 3,800 years ago in Egypt even. So in this video, this is going to be a short highlight video. For the full length share of the past life regression and rewrite, I will link that below and you can go check that out. I certainly encourage you to go so you can go through the process of understanding how the healing happened, what happened specifically, and how we got to the amazing outcome that we got to. So that'll be attached below. So yes, that's where the timeline occurs at. And basically, we are dealing with a goddess in that timeline. A human, there's two main characters, a priest and the goddess that he is actually in charge of helping care for and protect. And it's their dynamic and their relationship that is the main focal point. And as much as she did need protection, she ended up feeling very much like a prisoner. And when she got to old enough and basically wanted the level of freedom that she wanted, that's where this timeline breaks down, and they don't, in the first version, are not able to really hear the communication between each other for various reasons, but in part because she was not human. Okay, he was human. She was actually, okay, I'll describe what she looked like really quickly. If you've ever watched the X-Men movies where Jennifer Lawrence plays Mystique, that's exactly what she looked like. Everything except in the past life, she was about 13 to 14 feet tall. Otherwise, she looked just like Mystique when she's in her blue natural look. Okay, so she wasn't human, and she was a goddess, and she was connected to some of the goddesses that god and goddesses in the pantheon that is known. She was the offspring of them. However, there was a threat by other gods that didn't want any more gods coming in to threaten their position. So they had to hide her away as soon as she was born, pretty much, and it was this priest's assignment to actually be the one to take care of her and keep her hidden from everybody, really. He really was her main social support in every way. So I'm not going to go into all the details about how it unfolded and how they got to this point. You're going to need to watch the full-length one. Where we were able to get to once the rewrite happens, once I see a past life regression and then I ask the guides or whatever other beings might want to help out, where the best point is to intercede and do something different that would have a better outcome. So that's what we did. A friend, actually, by the way, that was a little different in that I had a friend actually doing the past life regression with me. A lot of times I'll do them on my own because I can see both sides. I mean, it's not that I need to have another person there, but it just seemed tonight when I was going to go ahead and do the past life regression anyway, and I was talking to her. It seemed like, okay, I think it'd be best if we do this together. So I give my dear friend credit for helping flesh all of this out. So thank you to her. So anyway, the final outcome. One of the issues, maybe one of the main issues, why they had that conflict in the end was, well, because they couldn't really fully connect on all levels. She actually came from an insectoid group, even though she had very human looking, at least the legs and everything. She didn't look like, a fly or whatever, but she definitely, it was still that group. And they process things differently, better or worse, it's different. And so you got a human trying to love and send love and share care. We raised her. She was actually about I want to say in her early 20s maybe, when they had this falling out. So he had raised her that whole time. So for all intents and purposes, she was his daughter and he was her father. But despite their best efforts, they weren't able to truly connect until the rewrite. And what I was able to see was he did something that was such a selfless act, which actually ended up being love driven, that it bridged. She could actually get the love. It was motivated by love. He was sending love through this action, but she actually finally was able to receive it and fully feel it for herself. It's like there's always been a barrier between them, that there were so many points where they just couldn't quite understand each other fully. Even through telepathy, they actually were telepathic and were able to communicate that way. It didn't matter. There just was a slight disconnect in them being able to really, the emotions especially, be translated. Yeah, that's a good word for it. So that the other could get it, receive it. What I realized in that moment, because eventually my friend and I, we said, okay, that sounds like unconditional love. But both of us realized that, oh no, it was more than that. That there was actually a higher level of love, because oftentimes unconditional love is viewed as the highest level. I mean, it's totally selfless, no strings attached, it's just love because you love and whatever. This was even a higher vibration of love. And what we realized was that it was a template for something that had never existed before 3,800 years ago now. That this level of love means that no matter where you are, who you are, or what you are, when you are hooked in to the universal level of love, any barriers between you, any blocks between you that dehumanize you from the other person, that has them be able to look down upon you, that has them be able to hate you, that has them be able to hurt you consciously. This universal love supersedes all of that. And when that happens, you can no longer see them as only an object, see them as less than. And when you see them at that level, it makes it pretty much impossible to hurt them. When you really, really feel them and sense them at that level. The mental, I don't like you because of this, I think you're that, I think this, I think, all those thoughts. Very easy when you just think things to justify doing horrible things. And to think that people are only objects. But this level of love It supersedes all that. And it bridges. And so this is the way that there can be peace on earth. It's now a template that's been available for 3,800 years because I put that into place. So it's not that it just changed today, although it did change today here. It changed 3,800 years ago in Egypt. Therefore, it's touched every civilization on this planet ever since, whether directly or indirectly, because we know how much Egypt has impacted things. And now in the rewrite, well, this goddess that ends up being killed in the first version lives. And she is able to become the true goddess that she's meant to. She now is visible. Like I said, she had to be hidden in the first one. That level of love actually ended up being her best protection, is what I got in the end. Because when you're vibrating that high, that level of darkness, it can't touch you. It's stronger than any other protection, actually, is what I got from those lower level intended beings. Oh no. She was way outside of their ability to touch anymore. And so she was able to become fully visible. She is now a goddess in the pantheon of Egypt. Known one now. And she holds the energy of this universal love. The universal love that I'm talking about right now has now been in place on this planet for 3,800 years. It's time for peace. And I truly believe that this rewrite tonight is a part of bringing peace to this planet at a whole nother level. All lives matter. I've always believed that. The problem is so many people never did. And even I didn't have access to this full universal level of love until tonight. This is the way there can be peace everywhere. If you can be in touch with this universal love, yeah. So this was an extremely powerful past life regression and rewrite. Again, it is connected to this upcoming 6/20/2020 summer solstice portal. So again, I encourage you to go watch the full length one, which is going to be linked here below. And there's also a solar eclipse like the very next day. So power-packed weekend coming up. So everybody hang on. Only I'm not going to say it's a bumpy ride. I think this may be one of the smoothest rides we've seen yet. So enjoy it. Feel it. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Any comments are welcome. And until next time, peace and joy.